A lot of our audience, like, they are leaders of smaller companies. They want to be great. They're growth minded. They're ambitious. Like, what are the qualities and characteristics that a great leader really should embody in the world that we live in today?
I think a great leader should be a good listener and realize that the role of the leader is to motivate and catalyze a large group of people. And the best way to do that is to realize that you work for them, not the other way around. And so like, even in my one-on-one interactions with direct reports, I would always have this kind of servant leadership philosophy, which is, I work for you. Like, yeah, you're the CTO and I'm the CEO, but what do you need? What can I do for you? What problems do you have? How can I clear roadblocks for you? Like, at the end of a one-on-one, the CTO should be staffing the CEO with to-dos, and not the other way around. The director of engineering should be staffing the VP of engineering with to-dos, not the other way around. So like, flipping leadership on its head to realize that the higher up you go, the less actual work product you're responsible for, but the more impact you can have by motivating and catalyzing and helping more people be more successful. So, like, you mentioned Satya Nadella. I did a podcast with him on Office Hours, my podcast, and he talked about this, and I've told this story publicly before, but like, I was at a thing with him maybe 7 or 8 years ago, which was all the CEOs of the big Seattle tech companies got together and had a dinner to discuss what were we going to do. It was very like Godfather-esque, like Five Families kind of thing. What were we going to do about all these Bay Area tech companies that were opening up offices in Seattle? Facebook's here now, Dropbox is here now. God darn it! Like, what are these people doing coming to our town? We're Expedia and Zillow and Amazon and Microsoft, and we spent like a long time at this dinner talking about more creative recruiting, how we're going to have to go to off other universities that we might not otherwise go to, and compensation, and like all these kind of HR things about filling the pipeline with great people. And Satya stood up, which was like a little surprising, because it was like a relatively small room, and and he's a very he's a very soft-spoken person. Typically, he stood up. He's like, what? Y'all are focused on totally the wrong thing. You're focused on attracting people to your companies. What we should really be talking about is employee engagement. I have hundreds of thousands of people at Microsoft. If I can just get all of them to go from being 70% engaged to 75% engaged, if I can get them to lean forward a little bit more, to sit up in their chair, to stand up straighter, to work a little harder and smarter, and just care a little bit more, there'll be this explosion of creativity and productivity within Microsoft, and I never have to hire anybody again. Like, it doesn't matter what Facebook does or Google does here in Seattle. It was all about employee engagement. And that, like, I don't know, it's one of those handful of moments in my career where it just like light bulb went off. And that's the role of a leader, is to try to drive a high level of engagement from their organization. Usually the best way to do that is to listen to the organization, and then to try to motivate them and clear their roadblocks.